What immense troubles did Mariah have to face as a child? In what unconventional way did the Beatles influence her when she was an aspiring singer? And why did she decide to write her hard-hitting memoir? Hi, I'm Dylan. Let's start. Tough childhood made her stronger. Mariah's family was troubled from the very beginning. Her mother was of Irish descent, and her family disowned her for marrying an African-American man. The racial tensions of those times made life incredibly hard for them, and Mariah's parents got divorced when she was only 3. To make a living, her mother often worked several jobs, and she had little to no contact with her father. So, young Mariah spent a lot of time home alone. Having pretty much nothing to do, she began singing at the age of 3, trying to imitate Verdi's opera Rigoletto in Italian. Mariah's mother was a former opera singer and vocal coach, so, highly impressed with her skills, she encouraged her daughter to perform and trained her vocally. And yet, as Carey later admitted, she never pushed her to get into opera, or at least to give an opera-like feel to her singing. When Mariah was only 6, she performed in public for the first time, and, after that, she participated in many talent shows and folk music festivals. But if you think that her childhood was full of just singing, you're very mistaken. Little Mariah encountered more troubles than you can ever imagine. In the memoir she released this September, Mariah recalled how her elder siblings affected her. Her brother was always violent, and according to the singer, living with him was similar to walking on eggshells. It taught her to feel when bad things were coming her way. It's a scary thing, but you sense it, and you learn to navigate your behavior because of it, Carey recalled. And meanwhile, her sister was a troubled and traumatized teen who once drugged her little sister and inflicted her with burns when Mariah was only 12. It's impossible to imagine how hard those times were for her. But these days, the singer doesn't hold any grudges against her offenders, even though she doesn't communicate with her brother and sister anymore. "I forgive them," the singer explained to Vulture, and added, "I'm not trying to invite anyone to come hang out over here. I think they're very broken, and I feel sad for them." As if her troubled siblings weren't enough to deal with, young Mariah also struggled with racial identity. When she was a teen, she faced an unbelievable amount of violence and aggression toward her because of her African-American background. "Each time, a piece of purity was ripped from my being," she described her first encounters with racism. But despite all these troubles, Mariah always had the strength to go on. And as she admitted, her childhood experiences made her who she is today, a strong woman who is ready to show others what she's worth. Thorny road to fame. Her mother's vocal lessons paid off, and soon enough, Mariah realized that she wanted the world to hear how good a singer she was. In pursuit of a musical career, she moved to Manhattan and rented a one-bedroom apartment with 4 other girls. To pay rent, she worked part-time jobs as a waitress and a coat check girl. Mariah didn't only like to sing, but she also wrote most of her songs by herself. When she was 18, she got a lucrative offer from a company that wanted to pay her $5,000 to buy her music. But Carey refused. Not just because she wanted to sing her songs herself, but after watching a documentary about the Beatles and learning that they didn't have complete ownership of their songs, she also wanted to preserve all the rights to her music. "I knew not to give away all my publishing," the singer explained. So, yeah, usually, musicians look to the Beatles for musical inspiration, but Mariah looked to them for business advice. For a while, the aspiring singer kept on recording and offering her demo tapes to record companies. Carey's patience paid off when, a year after moving to Manhattan, she landed a job as a backup singer for Puerto Rican freestyle singer Brenda K. Starr. Soon afterward, at a party that Brenda took her to, Mariah ran into Tommy Mottola, the head of Columbia Records, and gave her tape to him. Mottola decided to listen to it on the way home, and as soon as he heard Mariah's charming voice, he turned around to go back to the party and find her. As he later recalled in his memoir, he thought that it was the best voice he'd ever heard in his life. But unfortunately, Mariah had already left by then, so he spent the following 2 weeks searching for her. It all kinda has real-life Cinderella story vibes, right? Mottola signed Mariah to Columbia and made her the studio's leading female artist, in competition to Whitney Houston and Madonna, who worked with other record companies. Carey's debut album, titled Mariah Carey, topped the Billboard 200 for 11 weeks and immediately brought her 2 Grammys. Most of her subsequent works were also successful. Critics admired her perfect pitch and 5-octave vocal range, and her albums continued to top the charts. Her Merry Christmas album, for example, became the best-selling Christmas album of all time, and her song All I Want for Christmas Is You was named a modern addition to the holiday canon. As the singer later revealed to Vanity, the album came from her immense childhood love for the holiday. "When I was little, I always wanted Christmas to be perfect and so special," the singer said, adding that her siblings would usually ruin it for her. But these days, no one can take Mariah's Christmas cheer away from her. That's how she became the extremely successful singer who's managed to release one hit album after another and gained a net worth of $320 million. But as it usually happens, money and fame didn't bring Mariah happiness, and her personal life was still full of troubles. From an ill-fated marriage to happy motherhood. Carey's contract with Columbia Records made her famous and brought her together with the man who became her first husband. It was Tommy Mottola, the head of Columbia Records, and the same man who gave her a chance to become an international star. You might think that he believed in her so much that he wanted her to not only be famous, but also happy in her personal life. But what looked like a fairy tale romance in the beginning gradually turned into a nightmare. In fact, quite a few people warned them against getting married from the very beginning. First of all, their 20-year age gap seemed to be way too much. And secondly, Mottola already had a wife and 2 kids before he met Mariah. But the couple didn't listen, and problems began as soon as they got married. Tommy turned out to be an excessively controlling man, to the point that Mariah had to ask permission to leave the house. There was a conscious effort to keep me as this all-American, whatever that means, girl. It was very controlled. There was no freedom for me as a human being. It was almost like being a prisoner, the singer told Cosmopolitan. In another interview, she even recalled that she felt like Rapunzel in a castle. One day, Mariah realized that she couldn't handle it anymore, and they got divorced after 5 years of marriage. Although it happened back in 1997, Carey revealed that it still haunts her to this day. "That relationship shaped who I am," the singer said. "It beyond shaped me. I still have nightmares about it." And here's a fascinating fact you probably didn't know. In the aftermath of their divorce, Mariah wrote a secret grunge album. "My character was a dark-haired, brooding goth girl who wrote and sang ridiculous, tortured songs," she described it, adding that she used that album to channel the rage she felt after her marriage fell apart. Well, it's obvious that she was angry because of how she was treated. But interestingly, Mottola denied Mariah's allegations, claiming that they're totally untrue, and said that he felt sorry if he ever caused her any kind of discomfort. Who do you believe? Did Mariah lie to get attention? Or was Tommy just unwilling to admit the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, since Mariah is a gorgeous woman with undeniable talent, she didn't remain single for long. After the divorce, she had a relationship with Latin singer Luis Miguel and later married rapper and actor Nick Cannon. With Nick, she gave birth to her twins, Baracken and Monroe. Having kids changed Mariah's life. "It used to be just about me," the singer shared. "It used to be like, I've got to get my sleep, I've got to get my rest, I have to sing and do this and do that. Now it's really like, what are they doing? Are they asleep yet? What time are they getting up?" On Carey's Instagram page, you can often find photos of her having fun with her children, so it looks like she thinks the world of them. And she clearly wants Baracken and Monroe to have a totally different childhood to the one she had. According to the singer, her children live in a safe and abundant environment that she has created for them. But despite bringing these little angels into the world, Mariah and Nick split after 6 years of marriage, and these days, the singer is dating American choreographer Brian Tanaka. He's 13 years younger than her, but they seem very happy together. And still, it looks like problems just don't end for Mariah. Struggling with mental health and overcoming fears. In an interview with People magazine 2 years ago, Carey revealed that she'd been dealing with bipolar disorder since 2001. For a while, she refused to acknowledge that she had it and feared that someone would tell the public about her diagnosis. When it became a too heavy burden to carry anymore, the singer decided that it was time to start doing something about it. "I sought and received treatment. I put positive people around me, and I got back to doing what I love, writing songs and making music," Mariah revealed. As she later understood, her disorder appeared because she overextended herself. "I was working and working and working. I was irritable and in constant fear of letting people down," the singer recalled. Knowing how hard the struggle with bipolar disorder is and wanting to support other people diagnosed with it, Carey eventually decided to discuss her diagnosis with the public. She said to People magazine, "I'm hopeful we can get to a place where the stigma is lifted from people going through anything alone. It can be incredibly isolating. It does not have to define you, and I refuse to allow it to define me or control me." Way to go, Mariah! And revealing even more about herself, this year, she released a memoir titled The Meaning of Mariah Carey, where she shared lots of stories from her past, including her childhood traumas, struggles in her first marriage, and issues she faced as a world-renowned singer. "It took me a lifetime to have the courage and the clarity to write my memoir," the singer wrote in a post announcing the book. "I want to tell the story of the moments, the ups and downs, the triumphs and traumas, the debacles and the dreams that contributed to the person I am today." Given how much she has gone through and the fact that she has still managed to release 15 studio albums and 72 singles, the public quickly found Mariah's memoir fascinating, so it quickly became a New York Times bestseller. Well, after recording dozens of hits, Mariah certainly didn't expect anything less. Have you read her memoir? And what do you think about Mariah Carey? Share in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.